Evening guys and girls, and welcome to Ainge Gaming. Today we're going to be discussing and looking at the new set of maps that have just been data mined, and we'll be going through them all and just checking them out, see what little things we can find in there, where the different dungeons should be, or the ones that we can find. Obviously we won't be able to take a look at Val'Sharah as that is only being released later, hopefully. I mean, that's what they said about Farallon, but you never know, maybe they will release it. It's all up to Blizzard. So let's just dive in and take a look. So first let's take a look at Azuna, which is looking really cool. I've really started loving just the art design that goes into the maps. Ever since Wrath of the Lich King, they just started putting so much effort and so much flavor into these maps, and it's just definitely showing off throughout all of the maps of the new expansion. A couple of things just to quickly take a look at in Azuna. Firstly, at the south there is the Warden's Isle, so we can expect a lot of Warden influence there in terms of what they're all about, and hopefully a lot of lore will come out of there. However, that's not the most interesting thing of this map. To me, it is right in the center at the top, Azure Wing Repose. Definitely there we'll be seeing some of the blue dragons that have fled and gone off wandering and doing whatever the hell they are doing, basically being cowards, whatever they're up to. They seem to be up at the Azure Wing Repose, and so I'm really looking forward to getting into there and seeing what they're all about, what they're doing, what the hell have they actually been doing, because they've been lying low for way too long. Off to the left we got Farallon, which has got a lot of Legion influence, which we'll hopefully be getting a lot more lore out of. And all in all, the map is looking quite nice. I do like the design of it, especially with the whole water system going through it. It's looking really cool. And of course, one last thing about it is the Illidari stand, where I'm guessing we'll be seeing a lot of demon hunters probably holding that position to basically keep away all the demonic influence coming out of Farallon. At least that's my own opinion of what I think is going to be happening there. And now we have High Mountain. The first thing that I did when I saw this map was scan every inch of it to try and find where Neltharion's lair is, but to no avail, as I cannot seem to see it unless I'm just going blind. Obviously this is Neltharion's lair, as in the Deathwing, the dragon aspects that went completely insane. And this is from when he was before Deathwing, when he was simply Neltharion. And if I'm not mistaken, I do think this will be the cavern in which he actually kept the dragon soul before everything with the war and Seram and everything like that. Other things to notice about this map is that it has huge, absolutely huge Tauren influence. You can see their kind of outposts are just spread throughout the entire thing, so we should be seeing a lot of them inside of this area, as well as a lot of Drogbar, which are the people who have inhabited Neltharion's lair. Other than that, not much to say about it. It seems like it's going to be very high up and a lot of climbing, and I'm not looking forward to going into this place too much until we get the flying, and as we know, that's not going to be for a while into Legion. But for the moment it is looking really cool, and I do like the dynamic of it. I am expecting for quite a fun questing experience throughout here. I'm hoping that we'll be starting near the bottom and then just climbing the entire way up the mountain in one kind of epic quest chain before we get to Neltharion's land and end the questing of the area. And next we have Hime, which is going to have a lot of influence from the Vrykul people, and it definitely seems to be holding up to that. I really like the dynamic of this map. It's very sort of broken up, very much like the Broken Isles as you kind of imagine them in your head, and it's looking really cool. We can see at the bottom right there the Halls of Valor, which is going to be one of the 5-player dungeons that we'll be able to do, and it's looking quite gigantic in terms of scope. And as well there is Horstfeld, Veld. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I kind of imagine that that's whereabouts we'll find the entrance into the Helheim dungeon, which will be of course on the ship, and it's looking fantastic by the way. Other than that, Agrimar's Vault, Agrimar of course being the ancient kind of boar thing that the Quill Boars all seem to love and worship. Other than that, there isn't that much to say. We got Talon Rest, Blackbeak Overlook. I'm expecting probably a couple of those kind of harpy sort of people, you know, the woman bird people to be around in this area, but I can't say for certain. But for the most part, it is looking really cool. now we get to Val'Sharah, which is going to be, there's a lot more to say about this place. Firstly, if you just take a look to the left of it, or to the west of it, you'll be seeing Black Rook Hold, where the Black Rook Night Elf family came from, which is also going to be a dungeon, which is looking pretty damn cool. Just to the east of it, you'll see the Temple of Elune. And what's most important about this temple, or one of the most interesting things about this temple, is that was where Tyrande was actually trained, which is really cool. And as well as that, if you look simply south of it, is Grove of Cenarius, and that is where Malfurion was trained. So a lot of training areas in this place. If you look to the east of that, or northeast rather, you'll see that it's got a huge sort of blue area. It's very corrupted. This is pretty much the corrupted Emerald Dream. And just to the southwest of where it says Shalanir is where I'm guessing what looks like possibly the entrance into the first raid will be. Other than that about this map is, if you look to the northwest, you'll be seeing the Dream Grove. And the Dream Grove, for those people who don't know, is one of the first places that we have guaranteed as a class order hall, and that is of course for the Druid. So that's where all the Druids will be spending most of their time. And to the east of that is what I think seems to be one of the world trees. Completely left my mind right now, but it's looking pretty cool and it's looking very corrupted. So we'll be seeing a lot of questing through that area. In my mind will be a lot to do with chasing down Xavius, which will be really cool. What I do have to say though is that with the kind of blue influence, it doesn't seem to remind me of Legion influence. It's much more of a old god sort of thing, but that of course is just conjecture. And finally we're in Suramar. Suramar seems to, well, the first thing that seems to stand out for me is just the size and scope of Suramar cities really seems to dominate the map. It's easily taking up a quarter of the map, so we can expect a huge amount of stuff to go in there, unless it's basically just a placeholder for the two dungeons to do with it, as well as the main raid. To the west of it, we can see the Doom Front, which is heavy Legion influence, and I'm guessing that's where the Legion, which is aligned, of course, with the Nightborn Elves, the evil ones of those, at least. That's where they sort of landed and made contact and set up their own little hub. Other than that, we've got Moongard Bastion, which is possibly, in my mind, what the good, where the good Nightborn Elves will be chilling. And other than that, it's just a whole bunch of random little names that don't actually seem to mean anything to anyone at the moment, as none of them I can find online to actually say anything about. But overall, I'm really liking the design. I'm very much enjoying the look of Suramar City, and I'm really hoping to get into there very soon. And next what we have is what I think is Mardoon. For those that don't know, this will be half of the starting experience for the Demon Hunters, and they'll be moving all through here. From what I understand, they'll be moving from Despair Ridge through to the Molten Shore, up to Seat of Command, through the little galley, through that way, and heading their way up to the Fell Hammer. So they'll be moving through this area, and that'll take them for half of their beginning experience. And it's looking really cool, shattered little breakaway of land just floating through space. It's looking really cool. It's looking very, very Legion, which I do love to see. And lastly, we have the Broken Shore, and it is looking really cool. For those who don't know, the Broken Shore is what we will be first doing. Actually, before the expansion comes out, we will be heading into this area, and we will be fighting our way up to the Tomb of Sargeras to interrupt Gul'dan. And it's going to be really cool because both the Horde and Alliance are going to be working independently and yet at the same time together, each on half of that little of that shore at the bottom there, and they'll each be pushing forward, working in unison and moving on through everything. And it's looking really cool. I really can't wait to get into this. Hopefully it will not be too long. I really don't want to have to wait until August to be able to check this out, but hopefully Legion should be released a little bit before then. But yeah, it's looking really cool, guys, and I am seriously excited to get in there and to do the scenario that is surrounding this whole little stretch of land. One last thing to talk about, however, is if you look directly beneath Dalaran, there is a small little island there, and so far as I can find, nobody has seen or mentioned anything about this little area. Of course, to the east of it is Val'Sharah, the area that's coming later. However, nobody has said anything about this other little place, so what do you guys think it is? Where do you think it fits in? Do you think they're leaving it for another patch to come out later with a whole bunch of extra stuff towards it? Do you think that's maybe where the big baddie of the expansion will come down and that's where we'll have our final raid? It could really be anything at this point, or it could be for just a little filler patch down the road. Leave your own opinion on what it's going to be and what it's going to mean in the comments below. So that's it for the different maps that are coming out. Once again, the Blizzard artwork team have done an amazing job bringing life and character into all of these different areas and all the different maps that have come out, and I'm really excited to get into this place and check them all out. Leave your own views in the comments below. Do you think that they could have used a little bit more work? Are you really loving the art style and really loving the setup and everything that we're going to be doing? Thanks again for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.